What do your kids think about you being like famous? Are they
I
older?
don't.
How old are
They
they?
are now like 7 and 12,
Okay.
so they are
Like,
starting
are you
to.
cool, or you're
No,
just
that's
no?
all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
no,
just
that's
dad.
all. I'm just dad,
Yeah.
and but I don't know. Now, when the younger one started school, now he has realized that his father is kind of different because some kids in the school are like following him and trying to arrange a meeting so they can take a picture with me and kind
Oh
of that
shit.
stuff. But he's been taking it really cool and not making a big number of it. And I've tried to say to him that if if the kids are saying things about me or something, that's just don't mind. And
Mm.
but and the older one, he's I don't know, he's so like into his own stuff, video games and own friends and all the friends, the kids' friends know me from little because they've been in the same kindergarten
Okay.
and in the same hoods living for many years. So I know them from little babies. So it's kind of same for them. They see me probably as a just like my son's father more than a star or
Yeah.
anything. But so I think they've like grown up with the fact that their father is what it is, and it's quite natural. But my oldest son is now getting into teenage things, and I don't know if it's going to change somehow. Maybe not, but I'm always trying to say them that really they shouldn't care what
Mm.
other people say, and they should know that if people are saying things about me, the people saying that things are really don't know me who I really am, so don't mind.
Yeah. No, that's
Mm.
that is a that's an interesting aspect then to deal with if like some of the songs and themes of things are a little bit more
Yeah,
uh like I mean it from what it sounds like, well maybe Big Dick Guy is getting pretty straightforward, but even like Roy Oberson like driving all like it's still like a play on word, like it's not
yeah.
it's always like a little bit but it's not in your face.
That's a kind of a home run. I think the Roy Orbison lyrics because of that. It's really different for children and for adults.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
for adults, Finnish speaking adults. It's really the driving all night. It's just what you might guess what it is, but for children, it's really
Yeah,
driving
yeah, yeah.
and it's cool like that because it's not even like it's good that people hear it
Yeah, I mean
they
it's
hear.
it's
So
it's like how the
mm,
like Disney movies have little jokes in them
yeah, for the
that
adults
that the
also.
adults have,
Yeah,
and so they can both watch them
mm,
together. No, it
yeah,
really is, and like the music video too of
mm,
the fucking karaoke van guy, like going. That's like a cool.
mm,
I just love that idea of, and it's lucky that like karaoke is such a big part of the culture here in
yeah.
my because like the idea for a video of you singing karaoke that's your song, it to me is just like a sick concept. Like it's a good thing that works.
Yeah, we also had this karaoke thing, me singing my own song in this Puumaama Metsästän video earlier, and Puumaama Metsästän, it's I'm hunting a cougar, so it's the same. It's exactly the same thing than in Roy Orbison that for children it says, and we have this old I don't know if it's a poem or something, but Leijonaama metsästään. I'm hunting a lion, so it's kind of
Oh, it like
same. I'm hunting a cougar,
uh,
but for adults it's pretty different. And And but yeah, the karaoke thing, it was fun because we took a taxi one time and the same karaoke taxi came to pick us. And
Oh, you mean the one from the video?
yeah, from the video. A couple of years later, we rode that same taxi, and the same rider, same taxi guy there,
What?
and he said that the not the Roy Orbison song, but my other song, Rypy, which is like a sip. Or,
Okay.
it has become a karaoke taxi hit song that young adult men who come to taxi, they always sing. Like we have these juomalaulut, drinking songs in Finland,
Okay,
which
yeah.
everybody knows, like Baarikärpänen, like barfly, and Juodaan viinaa, let's drink booze, like these really big songs that everybody in Finland knows. And he said that nowadays they also sing your song Rypy, and I was like, yes, now I'm in a Finnish drinking song canon.
That's a big part of a big accomplishment for the culture.
Yeah, but that's also why I people send me demos also. I also always ready to sing other people's songs if they are good, and I get really much demos about drinking and stuff, and I really don't want to do so much of these straight up drinking songs anymore because I have this one big one already. So I actually did a drinking song, just not the last, but the one before the last one, called Märkyli, which is
Yeah.
about drinking and hanging with friends. And but I'm trying to avoid the subject because it's so. I've done it, and it's not. Also, we have a really big alcohol problem in Finland, and alcoholism. No, it's wrong. It's really hard word for me. Alcoholism is really a problem in Finland. So and also I've noticed that young people, they don't drink as much as we did in 90s. Actually, in 90s it was getting really out of hand, the drinking of young people in Finland. We drank like every weekend and really hard, and it's been studied after that it was the like peak moment. But nowadays it's different, and it's good. I think it's good thing that young people are capable of having fun also without drinking, and that's also one thing why I'm not doing every drinking song I'm sent. But I have to admit that I still my main job is to entertain drunk people. So of course we do the songs in our gigs, and of course like most of the people in my gigs are drinking, but not everybody. I've noticed it's changed a lot.
What do you like to drink? What's your drink of choice?
I think it's been beer quite long now. That when the Lonkero came to like regular stores a couple of years ago, I've started to drink more Lonkero, but then I started to have these like tooth problems, really many holes, and now I'm stopped drinking Lonkero because of that. My dentist say that the beer is not good for teeth also, but the Lonkero is even worse.
Your dentist telling you to stop drinking Lonkero could be a song right there. That's
Yeah.
not a bad. That's a.
I have one Lonkero song already, the one called Lonkeron värinen taivas. It's like a sky, Lonkero colored sky, which we have in Finland like most of the year.
Yeah.
So I've done that also, but yeah, I also like wine, and
So yeah, you don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate, and also I have a couple of friends that are really into drinks. It's been a kind of a
Like mixed drinks.
yeah, kind of, and they make really fancy like hard to make drinks. You need different kind of like things to make them, and
Yeah, a smoker and put it under
yeah,
something and
and
a fucking lime and a lemon
um,
skin and
mm,
yeah.
but
No,
like I said, I mostly drink after gigs nowadays, so it's don't drink much
yeah, no,
weekdays.
it's
There's a
ironic.
special occasion.
Well, good. I appreciate that. And if you want, I know you said you only wanted one, so but if you want another one, let me know.
Yeah, still.
Um, yeah, it's to counter your point. I've probably drinking the most in my life, or maybe this is proves your point. I've probably drinking the most in my life the year I've lived in Finland.
We still drink a lot, but we drink a lot more in the
Yeah,
90s, and that's crazy to
yeah,
think because we still drink a lot, and yeah.
yeah. No, I mean it's just such a like the Finnish culture is interesting to me from a lot of different ways, and to me it's like very polar, but it makes sense with the darkness and lightness being such a big
Mm.
factor in just like everyday life because like I've lived in Spain and Portugal before where in Portugal like you'll just have a glass of wine with lunch and here like not many people are just having a glass of wine with lunch like you know it's like if we're going to do this we're going to do it and so like I've had a joke that's been like I mean it's not my own joke but Finnish people are either 100% sober or like black the fuck out, and it's like very rare to find the in between.
Yeah, maybe in like central Helsinki, it's has become more like European way of drinking. So people take the little glass of wine
Uh,
at lunch here, but in a greater sense, yeah, that's a Finnish thing that you you don't just take one.
no, no, it's a waste. It's a
Yeah.
you're wasting your time. Yeah, no. Well, get back to
Even though the first one is always the best.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love like the lonkaro for me. If like 10 years ago, like I would have been like, oh, that's some sweet drink, you know, like I would have looked down on it. Now I fucking love it because it's like the perfect way to start the night. It's a perfect little intermediate because I'm a beer guy too. It's a nice little in between to switch up the night, and then it's a great thing to finish the night with. You know,
Yeah.
it's I'm a big Longcuttle fan myself.
I have to say that the gin and tonic is important for us because it's been our choice for the backstage for a couple of years now,
Ah,
and
okay.
it's a habit of ours that our light technician Marku, he usually does the best gin and tonic. So when me and the DJ comes to the backstage, Marku is always waiting there with gin and tonics, and we take gin and tonics before the gig, and that's kind of a tradition. So
What's his specialty? Why is his better than most?
I think he just uses a lot of gin. It's like half and half or
Okay,
something,
okay.
but it's a good portion before gig.
For sure. Yeah, no, that
But you
gin and
can't.
tonic's my mixed drink of choice too.
Yeah.
So that adds to the long
And
kettle thing.
but you can't drink too much before the gig because it don't go well. I've tried that a
Yeah, I was
couple
gonna
of
have you.
times, and I'm managed to do the gigs all right and not get any complaints. But it's been really not so fun for anyone. So we try to keep it after a gig nowadays.
That's that's the you see some of the rock star guys that are just like fucked up. I went to a Modest Mouse concert when in like oh 07 and they were from Seattle. I'm from Seattle. And so that was like the bad concert to go to. You know, they're just drinking with all their homies before the set and they were so fucked up on stage. Like it was one of the worst concerts I'd ever been to.
of course, some bands have made that like a thing for them. They
Yeah.
have this eläkeläiset in Finland who plays this Finnish music called humppa, which is always the same like drum beat. And they make covers, humppa covers from like
Oh shit.
famous songs, and they are really famous about getting really drunk at gigs, and they have this like drummer dropping out of the bench
Oh.
like during the gig, and it's kind of funny, and but that's their thing. They're an amazing band, and but it's not my thing, and I think that my humor doesn't come from that kind of
Mm,
getting wasted and partying like an animal thing. Well, it's more
yeah.
subtle thing, and kind of my
While you're vacuuming.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the first gig I had there at record store birthday party, I was really nervous, and actually my hands were shaking and my voice were vibrating, and I was stumbling on the chord, and when I saw like audience laughing at that, then I realized that, oh, I don't have to like trying to be cool or trying to be anything that they like when I'm like insecurely here.
Oh,
So that's
oh.
always been a part of my show. Also, you have to come to my gigs
For
sometimes
sure, for sure. I know I
just
was
to
pissed
see
that
it. I'm a little bit more self-confident nowadays, but still it's not like I'm not doing Hollywood kind of show where I'm
you're not some like
mm,
theatrical
yeah,
performer.
it's
Like,
usually
yeah.
like it's the start of the gig is a little bit like uncomfortable for everybody, and but then it start to get better and better, and at the end everybody
Okay.
is
Well, good. I'm glad that I made you awkward to start the podcast, so it's like a
yeah,
similar concert.
yeah,
No, dude.
awkwardness is my thing.
Okay. Word. Yeah, I like weirdness and awkwardness and all that shit. Like that's, I mean, part of the reason I think from the beginning I was like, just the whole idea of, I mean, maybe you do care, but regardless of caring, I'm still gonna do me and do what I want to do, and that's like a thing I think gets lost a lot right now, where it makes sense that you said you hadn't started, or you think part of the reason you're like that is because you started so late, is like, or like to be a star, like was
Yeah, I
a
didn't.
later in life idea where
Yeah.
you'd kind of already gotten past the like being cool stage, where
Yeah.
like nowadays I think kids are so scared to try some shit sometimes because everything's on the internet, and if you fail at something everyone sees it, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it, like they laugh, and it's like, well, you gotta fail,
Yeah.
like, and so then people get self-conscious and say, well, I'm not even gonna try because I might fuck up, and then it doesn't happen, whereas then you start later, like, because it took me a long time to even get the self-confidence to, I've always liked talking, I've always liked doing this, but to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. It took a lot. I've probably wanted to do this for 10 years. I've only done it for 2,
Yeah.
and so that whole idea of just like being comfortable with yourself throughout time is cool.
and and like not caring in a way
Yeah.
what other people think, or it doesn't mean like you can just like be rude to everyone or something, nothing like that, but you don't have to care about what other people think about your persona or something like that. You don't really have to care about it because people really don't actually even care so much about other than their own things, and that's totally natural. People are coming to social media and like chat boards to comment, but it's not like they are. I've heard many times that some like colleagues have been getting really bad comments from somebody, but when they have contacted the person and been like, why did you write this, and it really hurt me, and I would never do that myself, but someone has done that, and then they have been like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what went to me, and I just wanted to write something snarky, and I really don't think even like that, and I'm really sorry, and like, you have to remember that people are not acting as themselves in the
It's the online is just another mask in itself. You know,
but
like,
also, of course, what you say that kids are also following each other there, and it's I understand that it's a big thing if you are really cool or somebody makes a funny video about you or you lose your face in. It might feel like the biggest thing in the world. I think I really understand that, but it really isn't. Still,
yeah,
people forgot about these things in like 2 days, and of you can also use that kind of even that bad press kind of if you can use it for you, your own promotion kind of
for sure. Yeah,
any publicity is good publicity, they say, used to say that it
yeah, and
still
as long as you're
holds,
not
right?
doing something super crazy, like
Yeah.
killing people, you know,
Yeah.
something killing people and raping like that. Those are the two
Mm.
that are the you know. But everything else, like the whole cancel culture and all that stuff, like I think you can only like to a degree, as long as you're a truly good person, you only can get canceled if you cancel yourself. I think
Yeah,
I don't
of
know.
course, and yeah, and I think people have right to express their feelings online, any feelings and opinions, and you don't just have to react to every like post on the
True.
internet, and you can make your own mind about things and respect people, and I'm really um like you said, I'm not so much in social media. I do the minimum I have to do as an artist, but I follow it for like a little bit. I scroll through Twitter and see what they are talking there, and one thing that is really strange to me that like the even the anonymous accounts are really like uh, keeping up the appearance, and if somebody says something bad about your anonymous account, you really then you go to crusade about against that, but it was really an anonymous account that nobody even really knows who you are, so why
Yeah.
you have to like that's not the real life, I think, but this is difficult because for some it might be if you are not seeing people in real life and all your like social life is online, then it might be important to keep them like your online persona clean, and then you really get pissed off if your online anonymous like cartoon account gets attacked,
Yeah.
but that's only because you have cut out the like you have moved your life totally there, and you don't have anything to compare it like, and you don't have that, and that's sad thing,
For sure.
and that's I think it's a really risky thing to totally go into that world, and it's a good word to be aware of and use it for good things and whatever you want, but it, I think it would be good to remember that it's not the like the whole world,
For
and
sure.
also the news are not the whole truth about
For sure.
everything, and you
Totally.
you can get really depressed reading the news, you can actually live your life without reading news at all.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm
And it really improves your mental health, I think. But
no,
um,
there's a scientific thing of like the
yeah,
sad world syndrome of like they studied people
yeah,
watching. The more news you watch, kind of the more bad the world you think
yeah.
is.
Bad news sell, and that's why the most of the news are bad. And but really, also the good things happen in world, but you don't find them in news. That's easy to say, of course. But now it's the situation in the war in Ukraine, and
Right.
I'm doom scrolling all day, and I just can't stop it. And I know it's not good for me, but I'm kind of it's impossible for me now to stop. And but I try to remember that there is other things in world than the war in Ukraine, but it's a big thing. I have to
For
say
sure.
it's a
No,
big thing,
and
and it's hard to just forget. And I don't think you should even just forget. And I think when I said you don't really have to read news, I meant like the daily news.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's good thing that you know something about like world you are living in, because then you can maybe make a good voting decision or something like that. But if you don't know anything about anything, then how can you even try to change things for the better, or how can you give a vote in a election if you don't know anything about the guys there? And so it's not good to be ignorant. I don't mean that, but watching the daily news feed is not maybe the best way to obtain like healthy information. But
Yeah, and you can get information just not by strictly the news. Like there's ways to be informed that you're not going to get it from a specific,
yeah,
angle.
yeah, that's a difficult subject for me. Also, I don't. Yes, there's lots of information available, and I really don't want to get too deep onto that. But that's a good thing to remember, that any of those you can't just like make your worldview depending on one particular source.
For sure.
But it's good to be interested in things. And also, if I try to move this little bit out of from this like an uh, news perspective, that also like being interesting in stuff in general, like now my new interest is like astrophotography and telescopes.
Okay.
We got a telescope for a Christmas gift, and I started to look moon and things, and my older son got interested, and now it's got a little bit out of hand. And
How so?
I bought a new, better telescope already. I have it on my balcony, and every night when it's not cloudy, I'm there at the balcony trying to find some interesting things and taking photographs. And I've always been like that. That I have some one interest that I'm really go deep when I find it. I had microphones. Many years I was building my own microphones, and studying them online. And we had this one do-it-yourself electronics forum where I was hanging and like getting information about microphones. And then I had this like archery thing couple of years ago, and now I have this telescope thing. And it's kind of I think my sons have inherited that they always have this one thing they are interested, and it gives them something to do. Always, they don't ask so often. It's like, I don't have anything to do. What
Mm.
should I do? Because there is always something to study. There is so much free tools like these recording tools, and also like all kinds of editing and camera and photography apps,
Yeah, on phones nowadays, like you
and you
can
can
do
actually
everything.
take amazing star photos with just a like smartphone. And if you combine it with the smartphone with the telescope, and you have some kind of a free image editor, you can do actually quite amazing pictures of the planets and nebula and all kind of
Okay.
stuff. So what I mean that it's good to be interested in things. It's not just about like politics, or but also it's good
Yeah.
to be interested in something.
And having a hobby outside of just like whatever
What,
your
whatever you,
normal work.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And if you do music, it's good to have some hobby that is not music. And if you do sports, it's
Yeah.
good to have some hobby that's not sports
No,
related, and kind of
total. Like that was
you
the
have this kind
yeah.
of
I have
thing.
and actually first it like I've done vlogging for like this vlogging kind of led into this. I always wanted to do both, and it was like my I think second year in Poland that I was playing, and I was just like everywhere I've played besides Finland, I've been the coach and the player. And so I was just like so consumed with like both the physical side of being the player but then the mental side of coaching that it like burnt me out. And I got into vlogging that year, and I don't love vlogging too much anymore. I went to Nepal for a month and did a like vlog series there that was like kind of my grand opening and grand finale at the same time of it. But then this has came about, and no, it's just like you said, important to have something else.
But that said, it's also easier said than done, and I
Yeah,
completely
exactly.
understand that if your life situation might be really different than me. I have to say that I've been blessed in a way that I come from a family that can have support my hobbies always, and I never have had like an
What'd your parents do growing up?
my father was a math teacher, and my mother was in a firm doing like economic stuff,
Okay, but
money stuff.
not music,
Not
or
music, not music, and but like a middle class family, and safety net. When I grew up, when I moved to my own, I didn't really. I had an opportunity to study. I studied really long in a high school, lukio, mikä se on, college, high school.
yeah,
After the
16 to 18 or
yeah, yeah, and I did it from 16 to 24.
okay.
It was and I did some little jobs there and there, and I had the opportunity to like trying to find what I want to do, and I understand that it's not the same for everybody, and it's for really many people. It's like you just have to work 9 to 5 and survive, like, and that's then when you go somebody who hasn't had the same opportunities than I have and say, why don't you just do something you like? Then you can sound a really idiot.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the themes in the song Iso Munainen Mies.
Okay.
Iso Munainen Mies, he's giving bad life advice. Like just he's saying that uh, if you're depressed, why don't you just do what you want? And
Yeah, just not be depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And if you
be
lose your
happy.
house, just build a stronger house.
Yeah.
And this kind of like um, stupid advices. I don't want to sound that stupid, but for people to find that one thing they like to do, it would be really good, even if it doesn't feel like it's possible right now. But at some point, to find something that you are really interested, and maybe even like mm, more than interested. That's even better if you're like fanatic of hobbyist of
Yeah,
something. Then it can give you like energy and good feelings for the rest of your life.
for sure. No, I've felt lucky because I get to still live my life by playing football, which has kind of been one of the first loves. So I've been real lucky in the sense that I found a passion early on. But even with, I can't even think of some other interests I've had, is like the main thing kind of to circle back. It's like you got to try shit.
Yeah, you gotta try.
You,
If you don't try, you don't
you don't know. And it's
know.
like figuring out who you are is sometimes figuring out who you are not. And if you can't learn either one if you just do the same thing over and over again,
Mm.
like getting real cliche with, but it's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And so no, it's tough. But okay, you, to go back to kind of your kids, and you said you didn't really think you were going to be, what'd you think you were going to be when you were younger?
I really didn't know and really didn't think that so
Yeah.
much. So maybe I wanted to be a pilot, fighter pilot.
Okay.
But then I realized that I maybe can't be fighter pilot because I'm too long,
Yeah. Too
too
tall.
tall,
Yeah.
and I have glasses, so it's not possible. So then I really didn't have, when as teenager, really I didn't know what I want to be, and I didn't have any like big ambitions besides music. I maybe I thought that I will be a musician of some kind, of guitar player or something
Okay.
that way, but I was really not really doing it with conviction, like with heart in play. I went to some guitar classes, but I really didn't study
Okay.
much at all, and really didn't learn anything because of that. And I don't think that's a good, like I'm really good of an example for anyone, because I've been so lucky and just drifted in the good things, and I can't say that what you should do. That's wait and see, and maybe something comes up. That's how it's been for me. But there was one point in my life when I was studying at the engineering school, and I started to have the stick dog gigs, and that one point I decided that now I'm going to be brave, and I quit the school, and I really tried to do this for a living, and that's the only time, and that kind of the track where I'm still,
Yeah,
but that's the one time was enough.
and exactly, and like even just then having the courage to say like, all right, we're gonna do it. This, even if it's just one time,
Mm.
is like more than some will do at times, and it. I think I'm assuming here, but you probably downplay a little bit on how like much time you've spent then with doing music like throughout your life and the amount of work that's been put in order, like you say, like drift around, but I'm sure, maybe I'm wrong, like that once you got to a certain like you put in long hours here, and like there's major work that goes into it, and
You're
thoughts and energy in general.
you're absolutely right, but I'm kind of haven't thought it as a work.
Of
But of
course.
course, now looking back, I've I've always done music, and the hours I put in are really large,
I
and
bet.
it's not that like that I just noticed that I can make songs, but it was really like years long studying first with the music only, and then with the lyrics, mm, and also nowadays I think sometimes I think I'm really lazy, and I spend a lot of time just looking at the stars and balcony,
Literally.
and spending time with family, and I like the free time, and but when I have some project on, and I have a song coming, or I'm producing a record or something, then I can like work really long hours, and not not eating, and
Hmm.
like I just sit here, and
Time just like
yeah, but it doesn't feel
vanishes, kind
like
of.
working because you like it so much, so
For
you're
sure.
just like pumped up. You forgot to eat, and
Yeah.
yeah, and but yeah, actually I didn't realize that before my um, my avovaimo, my not wife, but
Oh, like
my
girlfriend,
my
partner, or fiance.
fiance said that that she had noticed that when I don't work, I really can be, seem like a really lazy guy. But then when I have something, then I seem to work. I still can work, and still can like do the effort, and
Has there ever been a point where it's the music has felt like work? Because that's like, obviously I don't want to make something good sound bad, but it's something I've noticed where, yeah, my passion is to play football, and I love it and I enjoy it. But then there's still like some days you don't exactly want to do it, but then you still have to do it. I'm sure before some shows you like don't feel great, like wanting to. Has there been times where it
yeah.
feels like, because it's like a dangerous thing, because then you feel jaded towards this thing you love to a degree. Have you experienced that?
Yes, I have, but not so much in studio work and
Mm-hmm.
writing, because that's kind of what I would do even if I wasn't doing this for a living. And
Okay.
but the gigging is has not been so natural for me always, and I've felt like sometimes I felt that I don't have energy to do it at
Mm-hmm.
all, and I want to quit. And but this COVID has been quite eye-opening for me, because when I was the first, it was the first couple or 3 months with like lockdowns and no gigs at all. Then I really started to miss gigging,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's been really different after the long break, and I realized that I actually enjoy it and want to do it.
Yeah, when it's
Uh,
like you can't do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
that.
I had these moments, and it reminds me of like Andre Agassi. I read the
Mm.
Andre Agassi uh, biography. It's really good book, and he's a good example of like he's played since he was like a baby. His father put a
Oh, right.
tennis bracket in his head and a ball hanging from the ceiling, and he never knew anything else. Like the tennis has been his whole life, and he has hated it very much sometimes, and he talks about that in the book. And
Ah, okay.
but in the end, still, it's the biggest love of his life also. But it's kind of strange that you
Yeah.
can you can also sometimes hate the thing you love the most.
For
Uh,
sure. No, it's that's just it's like first world problem of finding something to
yeah,
complain about of like, yeah, I really love this thing, but at times I it bothers me, and that's almost even more painful, but it's the truth. You know,
yeah.
it is what it is.
And the other thing that's related to that is that Huijari syndrome. I don't know what's that in English. It's like con man syndrome, like when you're feeling like you don't deserve this,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and it's really common in like musicians and artists who are doing their dream job, and people are paying for the gigs, and you are
right.
actually starting to get quite a lot money, and then you are suddenly like get this idea that I don't deserve any of this, and I'm just lucky, and
And that you're like fooling
yeah,
everyone, or yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what I've also had in some points of my life, but also the COVID and the gigs after COVID have been also. It's been nice to see that how much people have been waiting to get in the gigs and how happy they are when they are in the audience. And one girl actually started to cry like last summer when we had our first gigs after the winter lockdowns, and
okay,
we were in Tampere and doing the just released song Mercury, which is about like you you haven't seen friends in a long time, and just had virtual like meetings, and now it's so much better to do it live. And during that song, one girl started to cry in the audience, and
damn.
I felt like maybe this is I do something that is not completely waste of people's time. That's all.
Yeah, shit.
Thanks COVID for that.
Thanks. Yeah. No, it's like there's positives with all the negatives and all that kind of stuff where um it sorry, imposter syndrome. That's what imposter syndrome. I was like I was thinking that, but I let me think what I want to think. The this is I had the question, but then that's like the one challenge with this shit is like I want to be super present and listen to everything that's being said, but obviously have ideas like in my mind of things to ask, and but you want to go with the conversation, so sometimes I hit this little like brain fart moment where I short circuit. Um, but where maybe I shouldn't ask. Where's your favorite place to do a gig? Or
Mm,
where's been like your best the show you felt that's best? That
well, I have to be. I have to bring up one particular gig.
okay.
It was after I made that change and to STIG, and I've released Puumaama Metsästän album, which was not a really like a big hit album, or but I did have some fame at that point, and some radio play and Spotify, maybe some Spotify songs that went to the top list or something like that. And then I was doing summer tour with a band. I usually gig with just a DJ, but that times we had a real band, not any like backing stuff coming from the like it's usually done that there's a band, but also lots of stuff comes from the computer. So,
Okay.
but we had a real band, no computers at all. And when we were in Ilosaari Rock, Joensuu, big festival, and we were starting the festival in Friday at like 4 o'clock or something, really early, because it was Friday, normal like working day, I was really not expecting many people to come there, and I think that maybe if 200 comes, then it would be nice. And then there was the gig was starting, and I checked, and there was like what, like 5,000 or
Oh
6,000
shit.
people, and like organizers came that wow, that there's a amazing that there's a like everybody's trying to get in, and there's lines outside, and it was quite amazing to see that so many people came at 4 o'clock to festivals to see me, and the gig went really well, and I had a band, really nice guys, and it was a perfect summer day also, like a sunny and warm day, and that's the one I will remember. And we have also some video clips of that gig. So
Was that like a moment that you felt like, oh shit, I'm like really making it? Or what was like
yeah,
your moment of like,
that was
oh,
that was maybe the moment,
okay.
because when you're on TV and or you are on YouTube and you just see the numbers, and but when you see the 5,000 people
Mm.
smiling there and having fun, it's more concrete. Like this
Yeah,
is
it's
it.
real life versus that
Uh,
virtual life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's always better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
I
Ah.
have many good gigs, but that was also the like first time I really enjoyed being on stage, and I remember I was so happy that I forgot like half of the lyrics, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
How,
And
how surreal is it for like people to sing your lyric? Like you're probably a little used to it now, but like for me, even with this podcast stuff, and I'll post, someone will come up to me and say like, "Oh, the one thing," and they'll quote me perfectly, and I'm like,
mm,
"What the fuck, dude? Like, how is it? Is that was that crazy for you?"
yeah, in the beginning, it was really crazy, and like people came and said that like your music's been important for me, and I've had hard times, and your music has helped. And I was really like, are these like trying to like fuck with me, or what? What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
joking or?
yeah.
And but then I realized that really even even though I think I just make like little songs, and I make one song and then I move to another, but maybe the songs can still be important for somebody, and they remember them and listen to them. I kind of move on, but the songs still living in somebody's stereo system. So
True, true. Whew.
maybe we have something on tape, or maybe we don't.
We got something for sure. But yeah, no, let's. Sorry to end it like to an end. We're saving something for later, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, but
for the
let's.
next time.
I think my computer and camera are telling me like wrap it up.
Yeah, and my ass.
Yeah, and yeah, we won't get into the. I'll cut that out. But I appreciate you doing this, bro. Like it's a honor, especially you saying this is like the first one in English. So that's like a big thing for me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah,
Nice to talk to you and meet you.
for sure, bro. Until next time.
Yes.
See ya. Yeah, that's